Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2, Legacy of the Void. Today, it's gonna be a brave noob world sent to Snipermonkey at the email address in the description. Thank you again, Snipermonkey, for screening these. I really appreciate it. He didn't give very many the last couple of weeks. So again, if you want me to cast your brave noob world game, make sure it is silver or bronze, and make sure it's kind of interesting. And then send it to Snipermonkey with the subject of Brave Noob World, okay? Alright, so bottom right here, we have a red Protoss player, RocketRacoon. And in the top left, it is a blue Terran player, ColonelPanic. Oh, little StarCrafts Marine up there spinning around. I like StarCrafts a lot. Ah, Carbot. Great guy. Great guy Carbot is. I like his videos. Doing some Diablo stuff right now. And actually have just put out a Zerg video, too. How to Zerg, I believe. Which you might find interesting. Anyway, yeah, if you haven't checked out Carbot in a while, I would recommend it. He's not paying me to say that. Maybe he should. Alright, so this is a Silver League game based on the loading portraits in the loading screen. APMs are pretty low, which just means nobody's spamming, right? Like a professional could have a super low APM in the first 2 minutes of the game and then just, poof, just launch it into the stratosphere when things actually mattered and it would be fine. But, I don't think we're going to see that here, is what I'm trying to say. Alright, what are we doing here for ColonelPanic? Well, not panicking, so that's good. Sometimes a probe comes into a Terran base and all the SCVs go, "Panic! Get him!" And they all come off the mineral line and then they lose the game. Because that's horrible. Don't ever do that. Back home, double gateway forged cybercore. That's not a build! Alright, RocketRacoon. Maybe a little bit new to Protoss or new to the game in general. Making Zealots early game versus Terran is also extraordinarily bad. Your first unit versus a Terran really needs to be an Adept or a Stalker because usually a Reaper's going to show up and try to murder you. Look at the shiny lights on this barracks. I'm so distracted by that. Additionally, ColonelPanic needs to be building something. That's not happening. That's bad. Really bad news bears, but the Zealot is able to save the probe from certain death from that SCV, which is exactly what we're looking for. And, ooh, what? Why? ¿Por qué? Why supply depot? I guess to prevent sneaky ninja bases. And, oh, is that a Total Biscuit top hat on that? Oh, it is. Oh, he's got a Total Biscuit logo. Oh, I miss Total Biscuit. Aw, now I'm sad. We've lost too many great StarCraft personalities in the last few years, haven't we? Blah. Okay, we're gonna focus. So again, traditionally, making Zealots versus Terran is bad. Really bad. But if your Terran opponent is not actually making much of anything, you can overwhelm him with Zealots because making stuff is better than not making stuff in lower league games. So let's see how this works. We're making Zealots normal way. We're not getting Warp Gate research at all. Got a bunch of gas, which we're using for nothing at the moment. It's probes, cannons, and Zealots in production, which that's not gas use whatsoever. But honestly, though, you can make Warp Gate. It's such a good upgrade. It allows you to warp in units from these gateways instead of waiting them to build super slow. Okay, well, we can do that next time. Marine production happening off of a 1 barracks play. Ooh, hang on, we've got 2 more barracks now from ColonelPanic. Things are looking up for ColonelPanic here. It's getting +1 attack. I love upgrades in lower level games, especially. This feels like they're so much better. See, there's a forge, but it's entirely for cannons. This is not intended to be for upgrades at all. I feel like from RocketRacoon, he's not thinking about it. He's not planning on it, which could be a problem for him. RocketRacoon's going to, I don't know, expand? Sure, why not? Ooh, I love the reactors here, too. Yeah, because he's queuing up Marines on a Tech Lab barracks, which means you can only make 1 Marine at a time. But if you have the reactor add-on, you can make 2 at a time. Yes! ColonelPanic doing some good things here. Second CC, rather. It's traditionally a 3rd CC location, but ColonelPanic is worried about stuff wandering down here and killing the command center while he builds it on the low ground. So, yeah. So, pro tip, if you're planning, well, if you do this, right? If you build a bunch of barracks before your second base, you need to attack with it. You need to attack with it. Same thing here for RocketRacoon. If you're going to make a couple of gateways and make a bunch of zealots before you expand, you need to attack with it. That's just how the game works, right? If your opponent, they're both worried about being attacked, so they're both sitting at home with units to defend against the attack, psyching each other out. That is kind of what Brave New World is all about sometimes, is being afraid to go. Ooh, expanding though. RocketRacoon, not too afraid to expand. I like that. And ColonelPanic either needs to float this down here right now or upgrade it to an orbital and then float it down, and that's what we're doing. We're upgrading to an orbital and then going for the old float on down our Rooney. Plus one attack on the way from RocketRacoon. Additional gateways, I like that. If you're starting to float a little bit of money, make additional gateways, which RocketRacoon is not so much. He's got about 300 minerals in the bank, which is not a giant unused bank of money that's causing you problems. I don't know how I feel about this all marine all the time strategy from ColonelPanic. It seems bad. Especially if these zealots end up getting charged, which is going to make them about 50% better than they were before they had charge. He's getting upgrades now. RocketRacoon, I unfairly maligned you. You're not getting Warp Gate because maybe you're Florencio. But you are getting, wow, Blink too. So charge and Blink and +1 attack. Okay, so if a bunch of charge lots showed up right now, these Marines would die. The good news is, charge is not done yet. What do you think? 5 charge lots versus... This has got to actually getting a little bit ridiculous on Marine count. So maybe 5 charge lots couldn't take this many dudes down. But maybe a smaller number, right? They got +1. They got combat shield, extra HP. Being all beefy there. Like the factory from ColonelPanic. Never going to say no to a factory in a PvT. What you're going to do with it? Siege tanks. You're going to make cyclones. You're going to use it to make a starport and make, I don't know, banshees or battle cruisers. That'd be pretty cool stuff. Again, stalkers are a great answer to all of those things. So you don't see a lot of battle cruisers versus Protoss in general. If you're going to do it, it requires a lot of control. Unlike if you're making battle cruisers versus Zerg at this level where it doesn't take any control at all generally. So good unit. What the heck is... Oh, the shinies, man. Getting distracted by the shiny antennas on these Terran buildings. They're nice. I like the shade of blue, and I like that they're blinking at me. Alright, well, Army Supply is 34 to 23. RocketRacoon's been dropped before. That's what this Stalker defensive posture means, is he's been dropped before. He would not like that to happen again. So he's just going to make all the Stalkers live by this base so that dropping and dying never happens. RocketRacoon made the extra gateways, hasn't done anything with them, so it was a good plan, but follow-through needs to happen as well. Floating about 1,000 minerals is not looking great. Stargate's coming in. Interesting stuff. ColonelPanic decides, well, I've got the +1/+1 and combat shield and stim. So here we this is our situation. Charge lots versus Marines with upgrades, no micro by anyone, and the Marines win. All right, I was right about that. And the Stalkers come down, and they should be able to win just by sheer numbers. Usually, Marines are pretty good against Stalkers, cost for cost, but that was a shellacking because there were just so many more Stalkers than Marines there. Not going to work out. It is Banshees, and it is Cyclones out of ColonelPanic. Okay. All right, I'm down. Stargates, what are we doing with these? Void Rays would be fun, although pretty bad against someone who's going for a whole bunch of Marines, which is, you know, what this looks like right now. Again, RocketRacoon seems to be... Okay, so he is making more Stalkers again. Sometimes building production facilities and then not doing anything with them is considered rough. Saturating that second gas at the natural base would be cool. Fully saturated on these assimilators is nice. Terran's got all of his refineries saturated. Beautiful stuff here. Oh, it's an armory. I thought it was a fusion core. I was excited for a minute. Oh my gosh, he's making a Raven. We don't see a lot of spellcasters in Brave New World. We're making a Raven. We're getting a high-sec auto tracking for range upgrade for planetary fortresses that don't exist yet, and turrets that do exist yet. This is a pretty dope design for a turret too. I like it. I like it a lot. Is that a third base on the way from RocketRacoon? He's like, all right, so my opponent's not killing me, and I held that attack, and I feel pretty confident about it. It is Void Rays, by the way. Then we can hold this third base. Let's do it. Let's make sure we have our Stalker army, our undefeatable Stalker army here. I don't think it's really undefeatable, but you know how this works. Ooh, Widow Mines. I mean, Widow Mines are good at the pro level, which means they're extra good at the lower leagues. That's a weird place to burrow your Widow Mines, ColonelPanic. I'm just saying, odd place for that. So Void Ray's out. Let's see what that Marine count is, shall we? 24. Yikes. 24 Marines can kill 2 Void Rays really easily. The good news today for RocketRacoon is that there are no medevacs. Apparently, ColonelPanic does not believe in the saving power of medevacs if you're making a bunch of Marines. Wait, no, he's got them. They're queued up, though. He's making Vikings first, and then medevacs are a secondary priority here, which I don't agree with at all. Although, Vikings can do pretty well against Void Rays if they can keep their distance, which is hard to do because Vikings are fast. Which that did not always used to be the case. If you remember, what is proving to be maybe the final balance patch of StarCraft 2 ever, whoever was in charge of the balance machine was like, Void Rays need to be good. It made them cheaper, they build faster, they have better acceleration, and they move faster. That was, it was a choice. Now we see Void Rays way, way more than we did before, which makes a lot of sense. Fleet Beacon coming in. Maybe some carrier production here. We're going to go Sky Toss against ColonelPanic. ColonelPanic is getting a third base too. So these players have a pretty good handle on expanding and building stuff. Production tabs looked pretty healthy for ColonelPanic for most of this game, I feel like. Once again, moving out with an entirely... No, you're making medevacs, though. Here's one right there. Oh, there are 2 of them. Send... Oh, my gosh. No. Send the medevacs out with these Marines. Heal them as they do damage to the enemy. Forsooth. They need it. Alright, well, here they are. And, they're gonna stim it all? You know, he's got stim research, but he's not stimming at all, which is a huge problem. And everybody dies, largely because if you show up here and stim and have medevacs supporting you, you're gonna do a little bit better. But no, it's a lot of Stalkers, and it's a bunch of Void Rays. Look how fast they are. Flux Veins isn't even done yet. Not even done yet. I want to see if we can, like, catch the movement speed change as they're moving. Yeah, perfect, perfect. Move this way. Flux Veins is done. And now... Army supply, 84 to 58. Traditionally, RocketRacoon, I would recommend you get splash damage against a Terran player that's making this much bio. But, considering that ColonelPanic does not believe in using the stim that he's researched, that he doesn't have a lot of Marines left over after that massacre, you don't probably need splash damage to win this game. Void Rays and Stalkers, a weird, bad composition at the pro level, might just work here. I wouldn't be surprised by it. Again, the reason why is just sheer outnumbering. There are a lot of compositions that you can use to win a game of StarCraft if you just outnumber the opponent 2 to 1. That's it. That's how this works. It's a lot of Void Rays, man. He's getting tectonic destabilizers for the 0 Tempest that are in production right now. Like, Stalkers are fast, but look at these Void Rays are so much faster. They have little contrails, air trails coming off the back there. Whee! They're so fast. All right, man. It's 162 to 128 supply. It is looking fairly dire for ColonelPanic right now. He's getting transformation servos, which allows nothing he has to transform faster, actually. Okay, well, here comes nothing. Void Rays versus Marines is not generally a great fight, but again, it's kind of working out here. Stalkers doing all right for themselves. Planetary Fortress firing away on these Stalkers here too. The repair on the Planetary is incredible. Rocket is, again, no splash damage at all right now. Oh, look at him repairing the turret so it never dies, but that means they leave the Planetary Expose. Now they're back to the planetary because they realize that's what they need to kill now. ColonelPanic's repair priority is actually pretty good right now. All the Void Rays are dead, so the missile turret's not important anymore. The Stalkers are alive, so you gotta repair the planetary, which is racking up kills. That's the 10th kill on that planetary fortress. And ColonelPanic actually doing pretty great here. Again, RocketRacoon didn't bring any splash damage at all to this fight, and the Void Rays are probably going to wipe out the planetary eventually. They haven't really focused on it today. They're trying to kill SCVs, which SCV repair can actually out-repair Void Ray damage. Oh, Thors are up. Prismatic alignment! Okay, RocketRacoon might not know what prismatic alignment is, which, well, it upgrades damage done to armored targets. Dude, this planetary, though. 18 kills. And RocketRacoon is just continuing to throw Void Rays into this. So I don't know. ColonelPanic, despite the fact I really don't like what he's doing, that was some pretty clutch defense. The SCV's repairing did amazing work for him there. He got Thors out, which did fairly well in that situation. He saved the base. He lost a bunch of SCVs, 10 of them. And 71 Marines have now died, but it's 13,000 resources lost for RocketRacoon and 7,000 lost for ColonelPanic. It's 17 Void Rays and 37 Stalkers, and this planetary has 20 total kills. That's awesome. So RocketRacoon, let's see, can he brute force his way to victory using units that are bad against this Terran composition like Void Rays and Stalkers? Or do we see some Colossus join the party? Maybe some Immortals to deal with the Thor a little bit. Immortals to deal with the planetary. If you have like 4 or 5 Immortals and they're all just hammering the planetary, repair has a really hard time keeping up with that. Immortal damage is crazy versus armored targets. And they hit pretty fast too. So Rocket is making Tempests, so the Tectonic Destabilizers upgrade was not entirely useless, which is always nice. Getting Blue Flame. ColonelPanic is sort of doing a bit of a hybrid mech bio situation. Making Hellbats, Marines, Marauders, Thors, Vikings. It's a weird setup, but again, in Brave Noob world, weird setups are sometimes just fine. They can totally work. Doesn't make sense, I know. These Widow Mines have 0 kills, by the way, because nothing comes by here. Oh, hang on. Look what's coming by here. Oh, look. Look. Ah, the Widow Mine's got a kill. Do they have drilling claws? They certainly don't, so they are visible. And therefore, they're dead. Wait, the Void Rays are not? Wait, hold on.
Was your base burning to the ground part of the plan?
Oh, it's even the Total Biscuit voice pack. That makes a lot of sense. He does have... Oh, there... Wait. Armory. That's what it is. He has the armory, so they're invisible. That's... There you go. Drilling Claw just makes them burrow faster. I always forget they changed how that upgrade worked in that final patch. Alright. So, still here. RocketRacoon has no idea what happened. It's not great for him. He's working on upgrades. He's getting, 3 robotics facilities. And ColonelPanic... it's a weird comp. It's a lot of Marines, a couple Hellbats with Blue Flame, a tank, 2 Thors, a couple Vikings, and 1 Medevac. This is not a recommended composition for pretty much anything, but you know it's 92 to 66 army supply, and you know these Void Rays are going to stink against this. So, alright, RocketRacoon's attempt at taking a 5th base is going to end in shambles here. Oh my gosh, he's getting stimmed. He just stimmed everybody. So Nexus down. Medevac doing some healing. Marauder doing a lot of work on the back lines here. Both Marauders actually doing a ton of work. The Thor's in single target mode, wiping out the Tempests. ColonelPanic doing some work there. Is he producing back home? He's making more Marines. He's bringing them along. He's making another Thor. Zealots. I kind of like this, actually. Charge lots versus tanks and Thors. Not bad. Blue Flame Hellbat dies pretty quickly to these guys. There were a bunch of them that could have been better. You know what? Thor's doing better in that situation than I expected. Marines getting on up, Thor down. Thor needs to focus down the Tempest. Oh my gosh. Look at how much damage Thors do to Tempests. I mean, they do a ton of damage to any flying massive unit. Tempests, carriers, battle cruisers, broodlords, right? Look at this. Thor down. It is a scrappy attack right now. But by golly, is it working for ColonelPanic. No, the other Thor's not in the right attack mode. Oh no! And the Zealots come in to try to clean it up, but again, the Blue Flame Hellbat back here has got 10 kills. Oh, he's finally dead, but reinforcements, ColonelPanic, very importantly, not forgetting the part of the game where you gotta make stuff back at home and continue to reinforce your attack. Stargate dies, Tempest in production there. I don't know the Tempest are what you want anyway. Zealots actually doing a surprisingly great job for themselves here, but not enough to win that. Apparently, attacking these Stargates is all that really matters to ColonelPanic right now. He feels like killing those is how he wins this game. He's scanning. Thor dies, and okay, RocketRacoon cleans it up. That said, there is a Banshee here, and it is getting free reign on all the Zealots and the Immortals you're making. So that's not perfectly ideal. Also, Marines versus Immortals is not great for the Immortal, it turns out. Zealots do save his butt. But yeah, Banshee causing some problems. Marines kind of trickling down across the map here from ColonelPanic. It's 73 to 36 army supply right now. Banshee's going to get a Thor, or an Immortal, though. Ooh, speaking of Thors, though. Wow. Oh boy. Immortal Zealot versus Thor? Not entirely fair. Stalkers come in to finally clear out the Banshee. ColonelPanic is not macroing like a god necessarily, but he's macroing well enough to win a Brave New World game. Is he going to be able to do it is the question. Immortal down. God, these Void Rays die so quick to these Marines. As do Immortals generally, but out of energy medevac, that totally sucks. We're still making Vikings for, I guess, Void Ray reasons, I suppose. Thor down, but Immortal down. This is a scrappy engagement coming in here. Thor getting probes would be better than trying to take down this Nexus, I think. ColonelPanic, long distance mining. He doesn't quite have enough to expand up there, but he should fairly soon. In production, couple Zealots. We still don't... Oh, we have Warp Gate. We finally got Warp Gate, everybody. Congratulations, us. The good news for RocketRacoon is that he has the sneaky base down here that ColonelPanic doesn't know exists. Zealots also very good against Thors. But not good enough that 2 Zealots can kill a Thor. That's ridiculous. It's like how Zerglings are good against Thors, but like 4 Zerglings are not going to kill a Thor because that's stupid. I like how he has these medevacs here and absolutely nothing for them to do. I guess they could lift Thor into the main base and cause problems that way, but it is snowballing hard right now. RocketRacoon's at 200 minerals, 1,700 gas. He has Sneaky Ninja Base. He's expanding to the bottom left for more Sneaky Ninja Base. Is it going to be enough? I don't know, man. Are you scanning these areas? ColonelPanic, you have scans available. I guarantee you do. Yeah, you're on a max energy on both of the orbital commands. So pro tip, if you feel like you have a game won, just, if you're Terran especially, you feel like you have the energy to spare, throw down a few scans at bases around the map. See if maybe there's something you're not aware of. Because I don't think it matters in this game. I'm pretty sure RocketRacoon is dead. But, you know, sneaky bases have allowed players to win games that they should have lost, right? He's still making these Blue Flame Hellions, man. What a very interesting comp here. And bam, ColonelPanic's your winner. RocketRacoon is defeated here in 24 minutes. So nicely done by ColonelPanic. I thought for a second there RocketRacoon would have enough of a non-traditional army to beat ColonelPanic, but his ability to repair the planetary, allow it to get 20 kills, repair the missile turret to make sure all the Void Rays died, and then let the planetary wipe out the remaining stalkers, that really turned the tide in this game. I feel like it would have been a lot better for RocketRacoon to attack into this space where there wasn't a planetary. Maybe kill all this stuff, maybe get into the main, rather than going at a third base with stalkers against a planetary that's being repaired exceptionally well. But, you know, it's a question of game sense, question of making decisions. It's hard. It's a hard game, that's for sure. But nice job, ColonelPanic. Just holding as well as he could there, and the Thors paying for themselves immensely, I think, especially against the Tempest that RocketRacoon was making, and against the Void Rays, too. That single target anti-air attack is really big and hefty, especially good, again, against things like Tempests. So, nice job making the Thors. The Marines paid for themselves effectively well. I am shocked we didn't get more medevacs in this game. We have 2. And we lost 3. So 5 medevacs in 24 minutes is probably not enough, considering you produced 180 Marines. So that'd be a pro tip, is more medevacs, ColonelPanic. But other than that, I kind of like it. Kind of like what you did there. But that's going to be it for me today. So this has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void and a brave noob world. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.